is up, Robot Wars fans? Hardcore Kid here with another edition of the Hardcore Podcast. No Nate tonight. He had work commitments, so... But fortunately, I'm not going to be doing it alone, because I have two guests with me tonight. As always, determined to make Matilda his robot waifu, we have Alexthehunted.
No, that's Jonathan Pierce.
Oh.
Sorry, I'll edit that in post.
Yeah. That's...
Determined to make Matilda his robot waifu, we have Jonathan Pierce. And we also have another roboteer tonight who competed on tonight's episode. Yes, he competed tonight with Vulture, a brand new machine. He's fought with a few featherweights on the live circuit, but this is his first time in the war zone. It is Adam Hamilton.
Hello, everyone. You might want to turn this off after hearing my voice. I hope you enjoy it.
Good luck, everyone. Good luck, everyone from America trying to understand the Newcastle accent.
It's fine. I'll probably include subtitles or something.
Oh dear.
We were supposed to have Craig Danby on, but unfortunately, he and Jason from Team Thor are in Russia for an event,
currently,
so he can't get Skype.
That's probably the last we're going to see of them.
Oh dear Lord. Yeah, after tonight's episode, I don't know if we're ever going to hear from Craig again.
Certainly not from Apex.
I feel so bad about that.
So Heat C, this was the middle of the road for Series 10. So far we have had Behemoth, who after 19 years finally made it to the promised land of the grand final. And of course we had Carbide, our reigning champion, in there to visit him.
Didn't have an easy round tonight, Carbide, but yeah.
But tonight we saw some old faces, and we also saw some new faces. And one of the new faces, actually a very, very big face, was in fact Bucky the Robot, also known as the Biter Bot. What do you guys think of this beast?
God, I love it.
It is.
Give nice hugs.
Yeah.
I've actually heard rumor. Somebody said that the person wearing that Bucky costume is George Francis from the Chaos 2 team.
Oh, come on. No, it wouldn't be.
I highly doubt that, but I can confirm they are probably, that's not really confirmation, naked underneath.
Jeez. Probably wearing a flesh-colored bodysuit.
Thank God it wasn't recorded in
winter. Not what the kids sport these days.
Thank God it wasn't recorded in winter, where you just have the frozen corpse of Bucky's mascot.
People thought it looked kind of scary, and I don't know, it looks kind of cute, don't you think?
It's cute in a kind of horrifying way.
Yeah, I like it.
I goddamn love it, though. I love the robot as well, because I've said before, Robot Wars needs robots like this. We don't just want like a wedge flipper and a two-wheel drive spinner. Robot Wars needs stuff like this. I mean,
yeah, and this is what I really enjoy about this episode was that there was a variety of some really interesting designs here. Obviously, Bucky had the big mouth. Vulture had the flywheel on the arm. Apex had his big spinning blade of death and murder. And
Traction actually, from what I found out recently, it's an ex-bomb disposal robot.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. But it's a shame that Bucky didn't do too well. But in what we saw of it, it was really entertaining to look at.
I want to see Bucky 2.
I hope we do, and I'm sure we will.
It's got to have like a movie title sequel name. It's got to be called Bucky 2 Judgment Day.
Bucky 2.
That sounds like a spin-off. That sounds like a spin-off to a Captain America film, doesn't it?
Oh, Bucky, I just thought of it. Bucky 2 Electric Boogaloo.
There you go. So, Adam, what do you think of Bucky the Biter Bot?
It is amazing. Like, you look at it and you think, oh, that's not effective, but you have to appreciate how much of a work of art it is.
Yeah. I mean,
gorgeous.
I mean, even though it was overweight because it was originally supposed to have back armor, and it clearly didn't.
Mm. I was a little bit worried about that because when I'm looking at the machine and I keep thinking, I don't know. This could end up being the next Napalm, just things flying off.
Come on! It's actually because it's actually built well, so you know.
Yeah, this one was actually solid. I don't even recall anything flying off of it.
The only thing
held up really well.
The only problem really was probably the wheels because they weren't really connected, so you could see it in fights. Like those parts were just bending and flexing, and sometimes it lost traction because it bent too much.
Well, it's actually shock mounted, so as they call it in America, the wubs.
Yeah.
It's so whatever hits it gets, it sort of cushions. So it was like having suspension that was really, really floppy.
Yeah.
I will give them kudos for one thing though. That they got NPC motors going on in there, and those are like, remember when everybody was using Bosch 750s?
Yeah.
Oh god.
NPC wheelchair motors is what virtually every heavyweight robot is using now. Last Rites uses them. I think
Aftershock.
Nope. Aftershock uses scooter motors. They're the new craze over here in the UK.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, but and all the loner bots in Battle of the Stars used NPC, and considering how many of them got destroyed, I don't think NPC was too happy.
They're cheap and easy to replace.
Absolutely. But yeah, that was Bucky, and I think since you're here, Adam, we shall move on to your machine, Vulture. What can you tell us about this beast?
Well, what can I say? It's not really a beast as such. It's well, we need to stay away from the four flipper.
It's currently a fledgling. That's all else. You know, it hasn't become the full Vulture yet.
No, well, I think that egg has been hatched, and it's now it's been proven to be really rotten. The actual chassis design is based on my featherweight Amnesia, which did well. Yeah. So I thought, right, we'll do that. We know it works. We know we can give the experienced teams a bit of hassle, and we'll plonk a really rubbish weapon on top. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah. But that's what I just say. Like the robot held together really well. Is what I had to say.
But after four.
Pardon?
We changed so much during the build phase. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I noticed is that usually when you have spinning weapons with arms on them, usually they're like saw blades. They kind of like Megatron or Saw Blaze or any of those big Dustpan bots you see. And I was wondering how effective is the flywheel going to work? And to its credit, it managed to get some hits on some of the bots. But
of course, it ends. Took a few chunks out of things, but overall, we had a few problems after our first fight.
Oh,
it was just rubbish.
Was the weapon actually was the weapon belt driven? Because I was looking at it, it looked like it was belt driven instead of chain. Not the actual
it had two belts. So when the disc hits stuff, the force of it stopping wouldn't jolt back and kill the motor, so there'd be slip.
I see.
Except you can see the belts kind of pop off.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Kind of rubbish.
Happened to Apex.
But you know what? I will say it was a good first attempt, and again, it was certainly one of the more creative designs in this episode. And you know, it's always good to have new and interesting designs. Like Alex said, sometimes it gets a bit boring seeing like the regular two-wheel drive flippers and whatnot. And you've built something that I think could be improved, but I would like to see more of it.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know if your sequel bot's going to be named after a different bird, but I don't know, call it the peregrine falcon or something like that.
The theme to be dropped because, what I said before, it's rotten. It's rubbish.
Yeah.
And we've had so many memes being made about it. Oh god.
Speaking of memes, you know what a recurring theme about this episode was? If you look closely, you can see Team Toad stickers everywhere. For those of you who don't know what the Team Toad stickers are, basically there's a guy who Mike Michelin. I sometimes pronounce his name wrong, but he's the captain of Team Toad here in America. He competed on BattleBots a few times with Frostbite and whatnot, and he always supplied stickers like big round white stickers with a picture of a toad on them. Craig had one. I'm pretty sure Craig was the one toting everybody because he frequently comes to Robo Games. But he'd have there was a few stickers. There was one on Apex. There was one on Craig's shirt. There was one on Traction, and I don't know if
Traction
we'll
had a
probably
lot
see-
of what? Traction had a lot of stickers. They had Apollo, they had Concussion, they had Team Toad. Who else? Yeah, there's a few teams that arrived with stickers.
And I believe, oh yeah, the Carbide team, I believe, had a Team Toad sticker on their toolbox. So,
Yeah.
way to represent.
But I don't know what you're planning for your next robot. I mean, here's hope. I want to see you guys come back because you got to represent the North.
Yeah. Well, there's something in the works.
Yeah.
I will admit that. Completely new machine, completely ish different team. So it's sort of a mashup going on. So yeah, something to look forward to if it works. And I say if because
Hey, keep on trying.
So is Vulture basically just now going to be in a corner in the garage?
the bird is dead. It's been
Ah.
roasted in the oven. It's been eaten. There's nothing left but bones.
Oh.
Oh, what a shame.
Oh well.
But yeah,
Here's to the
Vulture.
future.
It was a decent first attempt. He managed to get Bucky out, and I guess we shall move on. Do we want to talk about Apex?
Yes.
Let's talk about Apex. Good grief!
They spent.
Apex.
They were in this episode just as much as they were last series.
Well,
It's a massive shame that, they've built an awesome robot. It's always been really threatening. Like, they just take it to live events, and their presence is just like, oh,
I mean,
keep it away.
isn't this the only spinner that is not allowed to be tested in the actual weapons testing area? It has to be tested in the arena.
It's one of a few.
wow.
But it's
It's nasty.
It's a yeah,
Exactly.
When the weapon weight alone is about a third of the robot.
Yeah.
It's
You
just
don't want that hitting you in the back of the head.
no.
Sometimes it kind of shows that sometimes bigger isn't always better. Like you look at Ironside 3. It has a big blade, but it's not like big McLarge huge like Apex's blade. Which I don't know if you're a wrestling fan, Adam, but is it me or does Apex's weapon kind of look like the Jeff Hardy symbol, like the smaller version?
I have no idea.
Neither
But
do I.
Some people said it looks like a guitar. It looks like a
It looks
boost.
like a guitar. I believe it was modeled to look like a guitar.
yeah, it is. Sam did an awesome job on that. It looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
I once killed a boy with a Fender guitar. I don't remember if it was a Telecaster or a Stratocaster, but I do know that it wasn't at all easy.
It was attached to Apex.
Yeah,
Crickets.
Yeah.
but yeah, what a monster this thing is. Like last year, me and Nate, we made a prediction that Apex was either gonna cause damage or self-destruct spectacularly, and in a way, it did both.
It waited.
It caused a lot of damage.
It
To
reduced
itself.
it, and my God, and then Craig got especially angry and decided to smash the window. Yeah.
I mean, Apex. Like I said, the first fight it didn't really do much because the weapon belt broke in one hit.
The bolt flew off.
Yeah.
First it was not. Now it was a bolt. Or
The bolt-
no?
Yeah, the ball blew off, and you can also see in the slow mo the belt also came loose.
Yeah.
So that was basically it. And Apex isn't really, it's the ultimate
Survival.
of it's the ultimate of well, when the weapon isn't working, then the robot's kind of useless.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It hung in there. It managed to outlast Vulture. But
We were still moving, but yeah, we were just going to wreck our motors so far, right? We're normally going to go through to another fight anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah.
stop it. But
Well, the good-
yeah, it's almost stayed in there till the end of the fight, but Terahertz has been nasty this year.
Oh, it.
It's finally
I think,
good to see Terahertz back in form.
Yeah. Let's move on to Terahertz, shall we? Because this is the best Terahertz I've seen in years.
Since
This thing was
Series
just
6.
nasty throughout.
There's one reason why, one main reason.
It was
Was it
warm.
Warm weather.
It was warm. It was
was
filmed
warm
in
this
May.
time.
It was filmed in May, and I think that's why Series 11 hasn't been announced yet, because they don't want to do another winter series, because that's one of the main things that held back Series 9.
Yeah, because all the flippers were all freezing up, axes were freezing up. But yeah, Terahertz was just... Nick Lynch, he was definitely getting some good hits in today. I know last year he was just waiting for a good hit. This year he just went crazy on you guys.
He was making up for 2 series of not many hits.
Well, technically 3, since Series 7 it didn't get a hit at all because it failed to get into the arena.
Dear Lord, because it's so nice to see Terahertz back in action. I mean, obviously, yeah, Terahertz has been performing. It's been the FRA champion once.
Yeah.
Twice.
I'm just going to be that annoying person who corrects you.
Yeah. It's been the FRA championship twice. And it's just... yes, Terahertz is 15 years old now, but it's still got it.
It's always been really unlucky, but John has finalised that design to a T. It's perfect in warm weather.
And the good news is, even though it lost in the Heat final, it's not out because it's into the Big 10-way, which should be phenomenal. So.
Oh, I'm sure you it is.
Oh, boy.
It's definitely... it's definitely building up to it. I mean, you've got... the next robot that we're probably going to talk about is also in it, and... I mean, they're really excited to be in the 10-way, but Jesus Christ, with the other robots they're in with, I don't think there's going to be much left.
Yeah, it is. This is a robot I like to call Suicidal Tendencies Redux. It's Traction, which was the team is from Collingwood School. They were all mentored by Will Thomas.
Yep, and I'm surprised they didn't bring that up at all in the episode.
Although I did see Will Thomas made a little cameo towards the end when Angela's talking to him. He's like in the very bottom right corner smiling. He's like, oh, hey, we managed to get through to the...
My students did better than me.
Yeah, well, honestly, there isn't really a whole lot to say about Traction because they didn't really do much, to be honest. I mean, in the match against Apex, it took a couple hits with your wedge, Adam. And then it held up, and then unfortunately...
That's a well-made wedge.
It's a very strong wedge. What's it made out of?
It's made out of Horox 500, I believe, 10 millimeters thick.
So that's like parts possible.
It's one of the thickest wedges in the sport.
Yeah.
So,
that was your spinner killer, wasn't it, wedge?
Oh, yes.
Wedge.
Yeah. But yeah.
A life without a wedge, what is it? Nothing.
But yeah, Traction. I will say it is an okay first attempt. It just got some really, you could say, some good luck and also some bad luck because in that first match, it just got ganged up on by the Spikes, the Fog of War, by Rapid. It was just insanity right from the start.
But all I say is, like, considering that other teams like like Overdoser and Worm, they were robots built in a hurry, and Traction's an ex-military vehicle, an ex-bomb disposal vehicle. It did very well.
Yeah, and I would like to. Hopefully, I don't know if it's gonna be. They are gonna get the Crusher in action, but I would like to see it do something with it.
It's not a very good Crusher.
I took a good look at it. It looks like the Crusher I said this before, but it looks like the Crusher that you see on Fang in Robot Wars Arenas of Destruction. It looks like that's what it was based on.
It does, but it was cut from the interview when Angela was interviewing them. They'd said it's basically for grabbing. It's not really much of a Crusher.
Yeah.
It's like on top of someone's head.
Yeah.
But it looked really cool, and the kids did really well.
Yeah.
They
had such a good attitude about it as well.
Like, yeah, they were better talking to the camera than I was.
Yeah.
They can cut a promo.
These guys are probably one of the most important teams to appear on Robot Wars because they're a bunch of barely teenagers who have built a robot and they're here in Robot Wars and they're in the 10-way melee, so it just proves that, I mean, unlike what Rapid said that you'd need a lot of money to win, you don't. I mean, look how it's in the 10-way melee. This is a team that we need in robot combat because it inspires the next generation because it shows them they can do it already.
Absolutely. Speaking of Rapid, I think we should move on to our heat winner, and I'm going to be perfectly honest here. Rapid is a beautifully engineered machine. I'm going to say that right now. It's a fantastically built machine. But
Stunning. Have you ever seen the insides of it? It's just...
I've seen the gearboxes. It's
Issues.
craziness. But I still feel like I kind of wish they could have maybe made it look a bit more flashy, because to
Gold
me...
wasn't enough for you.
Well, if you can have like these big blue flip spinners and flippers and all kinds of crazy paint jobs we saw in this episode, I feel like they could have at least given it a bit more character, because it just seems like a dulled down turbulence in a way. I feel like if they had given it maybe some paint or maybe a bit of some crazy designs on the flipper or something, but no.
I don't know. I mean, Rapid did well. Obviously, it was the heat winner. It did well, but it wasn't. It wasn't as fun as a win as like how Behemoth or Carbide had its wins. This was a very. I mean, you could see it from yourself. What they said, they just basically just went for the Asda Arena and that was it. And it's if you go for the Asda Arena, that's fine. But if you only go for the Asda Arena, it just becomes it's not boring. It's boring in a way, because like you saw in some of the matches, like in the Heat final against Terahertz, it never flipped Terahertz when it wasn't next to the wall.
Of course, that they had in the second round, they had to get traction OOTA because they had a gas leak, and they wanted to get it over and done with because they didn't want the flipper to crap out on them. I don't know.
It's a pretty awkward situation because it's a TV show. And, you're there to entertain everyone. But you need to win. Yeah. You sort of forget that whole sort of, let's put the God Show thing out, being that nice guy, and you just go for it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that just ruins everything. It is a shame. Like, in our fight with Bucky, I'll keep referring to myself, aren't I?
Yeah, keep doing it. Nope.
In our fight with Bucky, like, we could have done more. I wanted to go around the back and get the blade spinning up and whack its motors, something nasty like that. But it could be knocked back over and it could self-right, and then we could have a random breakdown. And this is the big leagues. You can't really risk losing that much. When your robot's rubbish anyway.
Yeah.
Like Vulture!
Oh,
come on.
Stop hitting it. Vulture's good. You were unlucky. It wasn't that Vulture was bad.
It was bad.
It's a good start.
Yeah. But I mean, I do. I mean, I kind of disagree with what I forget what his name, the captain of Rapid said. I forget his name, but we said like there's a correlation between. Yeah, but they said there's a correlation between spending money and winning Robot Wars. Need I remind you that Chaos 2 cost less than $1,000 and it won the series twice?
250 quid.
It helps when you know.
How much does Rapid cost now? Like 30 grand now?
Well, I looked up how much gold plate, actual gold paints, plated stuff costs to get it done properly, and it's like $5,000.
Jesus.
The front wedgelets, the two corner wedges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where in America, you'll know how much tool steel costs. It is a bomb to get it machined and everything. No one over here's got the pockets deep enough for that. But he did, and he's got 6 of them, I think. Just what?
Maybe he broke into Fort Knox and stole a few blocks of gold.
I mean, I know they said Mortis was the most expensive robot on Robot Wars, which was a lie. That was a lie because it wasn't $30,000; it was something like 5. But Rapid is by far and away the most expensive robot ever on Robot Wars.
Very much.
And I'm just not falling in love with it. I mean, I respect it. It's kind of like how Nate is not Nate. Anderson feels about Razor. Is like he respects it, but he doesn't love it.
Yeah, and Nate, he liked to consider Rapid the Mortis of the current generation because it's expensively built, but what's going to happen when something goes wrong with it? And last year, the the gearboxes went off with it, and because it was so advancedly engineered, they couldn't fix it in time.
I believe they fixed that. They made it all modular, I believe.
Yeah.
But this year they're having the problem of the air leak.
Yeah, and then that's why they had to get that second match over and done with.
It is such a tight system. I mean, because it's made with expensive materials, the slightest little bump on the insides can sort of dislodge things. But yeah, the problem that some of the other Roboteers have with it, not me personally, but you look inside and it's gorgeous, all expensive machine. People think, oh, I wish I had the money to do that. I would make things look beautiful. And then he bolted loads of armor to it and just made it look like a doorstop.
Yeah.
That is what the other Roboteers have a problem with it. But I think if you're going to go for a win and you want to do it out of your own money, then that's fair.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to spend all that money, you're gonna make sure it's going to win. But like I said, like it's just the 4-wheel-drive push wedge flipper.
Yeah.
At least give it a paint job, you know.
Exactly. I think now that we've got all the bots out of the way, we'll talk about the matches. And some of them were over pretty quickly, and some of them weren't. And we'll start off with the first melee, which was Bucky versus Rapid versus Traction.
All I'm going to say about this fight, this first one, it felt very much like the robot. There was one really high tier robot just put in with two lower tier robots. Like, I feel like one of the robots from the next group battle should have been swapped out.
Yeah.
With another one to make it more even.
This was basically like Rapid was getting a pass in this match, since both machines obviously were outclassed, and Rapid was just gonna. It seemed like Rapid. I don't know if they were having a gas leak or not, but they spent like the second half just toying with Bucky.
I think it was. Sorry.
It's a game of rock, paper, scissors, basically. Mm-hmm. Like, even if you get the rock and everyone else has got scissors, it depends on how hard your rock is.
Yeah.
So you're looking at cheap by comparison, Traction. You got a next step up to that, which the Bucky's nicely machined, but it's got a gimmicky weapon. I mean, it's beautiful, it works fantastically, but it's not a winning weapon. It hasn't been proven in the past with other machines. Rapid weapon.
I would say the only thing that was really holding Bucky's weapon back was the wedge. The front wedge was far too steep.
Yeah.
That and wasn't touching the ground at all.
Yeah, that too. But I mean,
you know what? Both losers of this match, neither of them were technically beaten by Rapid. They were in fact beaten by the absolutely overpowered floor dildos. And if you watch Mr. Psycho's review show, you know what I'm referencing. But
the floor spikes.
Both robots got taken out by the floor spikes. Also taken out by. You know what the first thing I wrote on this match was? Fog of War sucks, and you're gonna see Fog of War sucks written out a lot.
God, it was used more times than.
Oh my! It was used way too many times. Twice was too much. It got used twice in one match.
I'm not saying a word.
It's like it's. What I will say that this match does have some good moments. I mean, like Rapid obviously getting its first out of the arena on Traction, which was nice. And also, I really did like the moment where Bucky basically they flipped Bucky into the wall, and Bucky just started biting into it.
It bit onto the wall, and that helped itself right. That was amazing.
It was literally chewing on the scenery.
Exactly. But yeah. Not much happened after Traction went out. Bucky was getting flipped around. It went up against the wall, but it was able to grab on itself right. And then it got hit by the floor spikes again, and that was basically
They ran out of gas, which... I mean, also, you notice with the Bucky that they have an air horn. The air horn went off.
I kept hearing this loud all throughout.
Yeah, that's the air horn for Bucky's weapon.
Yeah.
Also, another point I'd like to make about this episode, like, Angela fell in love with Bucky immediately. Like, she was egging this thing on throughout the whole fight.
Yeah, I'm sure she got to go, right after the match, she just gave the mascot a big ol' hug. It was funny when you see right towards the very end, you see the mascot and Dara just walking away sadly, hand in hand.
That thing would not. Yeah, it's like basically they kind of cut it a lot. That running joke that Dara had going mostly throughout the episode is that Dara kept on trying to talk to it and it just wouldn't respond to it.
Well, hopefully, if they have the DVD, they'll include some deleted scenes.
Well,
not.
Well, it wasn't shown in this episode, but what also happened was Bucky got a hold of Gabe from Team Sabretooth and started skipping down the walkway together.
Oh, they should have showed that. Maybe they'll show it in a highlight reel in the grand final or something. They must. But yeah, that was the first match. It was basically all rapid. But so we'll move on to the second match, which is Apex versus Terahertz versus Vulture. Now, from what I understand,
From me.
no, actually, from what I understand, a few years back, when Craig was driving Tanto, he actually broke Terahertz's axe off.
Yep.
like apparently he was whacking away at Tanto, but Tanto was just like made of solid hardocks, and it just caused the axe to snap off.
Every axe goes eventually.
It was really funny from the sounds of it. There's plenty of pictures on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't that axe sold off on the TR2 eBay charity?
I think so.
Yeah,
Another one
was
the first one. Yeah. I mean, it's basically an axe will go eventually. Every axe will go eventually. Like just how like every CO2 system eventually the piston will go. Like every axe will end up just keep on warping to eventually it'll slap. I mean, like it happened to Thor a few months back. And it's, but yeah, this was I was there for this recording of this fight, and
Terahertz was just vicious in this match. Just holy crap. Just whacking you guys so hard, just sending sparks flying. It was like
we couldn't drive properly. If we did, we could have caused mayhem.
Yeah. You last
now.
But that being said, like this, again they didn't show it, but this match was halted because the first 6 seconds of this fight, Terahertz, Apex span up to speed. Terahertz rammed it into the wall and broke off the wall panel, causing the match to be ended prematurely. And the producers just went, "Yeah, that match didn't happen, so don't reference it at all."
Yeah, I heard that the match had to be the match went 6 seconds and had to be stopped, and I'm like, really? And John Reed apparently wanted to get some turnabout's fair play and try to break Apex's blade off, which he managed to get the little washer nut off, and Apex was pretty much screwed the rest of the match. And then all three of you guys got stuck, which was pretty funny to see.
We were all giving each other hugs.
Yeah, this is all's fair in love and war. Let's not fight anymore. Let's just have a big hug.
What I will say is that Vulture is very good at getting Terahertz's axe stuck, because it happened twice. It happened twice in this episode.
Their axe was hitting our wedge, and instead of their axe denting the wedge was cutting through their axe head. So that's how it was getting stuck.
Yeah, because in the first fight, they had to. I believe they had to replace the axe head because of how much damage it took from hitting Vulture. So, hey, at least your robot's good for something. It's the I break your fist on my face technique.
Now, I do have one pet peeve about this match, and it's a rule that's been around since 2000. It's what I like to call the one-wheel immobilization rule. Vulture lost drive in one wheel, so it was basically going around in circles. And so it was deemed immobile, and so they had to count it out. This Robot Wars is the only event I have seen where this rule applies. Why does it still exist?
It's basically
immobile. I mean, it wasn't moving anywhere outside that circle, so
it's basically got to move outside of its own circumference. I mean, you can still have one wheel working and still be deemed mobile. I mean, it's happened a few times, like PP3D versus Eruption. What else? What?
Pulsar.
Yeah, Pulsar.
Using drum to sort of
Gyro walk.
My robot Mondo has actually won matches just by driving around in circles. I have no idea how.
But yeah, it's not that if one wheel's done then your robot's out. It's more the case of like you can't just be able to drive in circles, because obviously it doesn't really make a good television if your robot's just spinning going around in circles. So
yeah, but you know what? Thank God for double elimination, right? So you get a second chance. The losers all end up in the redemption rounds. Terahertz gets the victory. Apex ended up smoking at the end, and then of course we got Craig Danby's heel turn, and what a heel turn it was!
I thought he was in Series 8 because he was a heel in Series 8 with Foxic.
Yep, and then he was a babyface in Series 9. He showed up in his Foxic onesie. I'm sorry, not onesie, hoodie. And here he was in full rage mode. He was cursing. He got bleeped, and then he cuts a promo right before his match with Traction, and he said, "I'm ready to destroy the dreams of children."
To win this, I'm going to destroy 13-year-olds' dreams.
He was in full blown. I know Anthony Pritchard walked out because he didn't want to say anything bad. Craig was just full blown heel right here. He was perfect.
To be honest, I kind of think that Craig might have been putting on a bit. I mean, I think when the bar was dropped on his fingers, that was genuine.
Oh, that was
when he was ripping something off. I think that might have just been him playing for the camera. Because it didn't look like it looked like he was ripping open an old PC monitor, like an old PC computer, whatever he was doing to it. But I don't know. Nate. Brandon, you've met Craig a few times. He's not like that in real life. He's there to have a laugh.
He's a pleasure.
Yeah,
he's brilliant. But yeah, this sport is really stressful. So
that's your team found out as well.
Especially when you're working with such a monster of a robot like Apex. You got this huge blade. You gotta make sure it's well balanced. It's maintained. The motor's running. It's a huge piece of kit.
Yeah, and well done, BBC production team, for spoiling what happened on the website by posting a photo as the thumbnail as the video of the bar flying away from Apex. Well done.
I try to avoid spoilers. I don't visit the BBC site. The only time I decided to visit the site was when Apollo OOTA'd Duck. Yeah. That was pretty much it.
But yeah, but there's not really much to say about that fight apart from this one moment.
Here's what I wrote for the Apex versus Traction fight. Team Toad sticker, drink. Traction has Vulture wedge. How dare you, Adam? You double-crossed Craig. You gave the kids your wedge to protect them from Craig.
Well, I wanted to give them a chance. I mean, let's face it, no one expected that to happen.
No. Yeah, I mean, I don't do the. I mean, RoboWars doesn't do awards anymore, but the groups online do. So you get nominated for the Sportsmanship Award at least. Hooray!
Yeah, by string over one of my favourite teams, and they're brilliant people. Craig actually lent us Tanso for the pilot of Series 1.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And Tweedy and Sam were on my team. Sam had to move on to another team, which was Foxic, I believe. Yeah, yep. And me and Tweedy were on the Tanso team. Tweedy drove, I captained very poorly. So, yeah, we've been really close in the past, and I didn't really think when I heard the matchup between Traction and Apex, but I saw the kids stressing out, they were panicking, and Will was struggling to do the minor repairs that were needed, and he had Aftershock in pieces on his other table. So, they need a hand. They definitely need a hand. Yeah, it's not fair. So I went over to Will and I said, "Do you want to use our wedge? How heavy is it? 20 kilos? Do you think you can get that in weight?" Yes. Adam, perfect. So, yeah.
Yeah.
The rest is history.
It worked wonders. I will say that.
I mean, I actually think Traction looks better with that wedge on anyway.
Yeah, everyone's calling Traction's wedge now.
Yeah. I mean, at least it was the right colour as well.
Yeah.
Now, without spoiling anything, did they bring the wedge with them into the 10-way?
I'm not allowed to answer that.
Okay. I'll just say they stuck Apex's blade on them or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, my God.
The
rest of the notes I wrote: blade flies, robot flies, broke wall. Craig goes, "What the hell?" And Ice wrote, "I don't think Apex will be going to Robo Games anytime soon, because if he breaks that panel, my God, David Calkins is going to flip."
Yeah, I think Apex may get banned from a few events.
It's like, I remember there was an event. Jesus, there was an event. I think it was in India a while ago, and
India's not really the Indian robot scene is not really known for its safety.
Yeah, there was an accident where there was a vertical spinner versus some other bot, but the vertical spinner hit the other bot. A piece of the other bot goes flying straight through the glass and whacks the driver in the head, knocking him out cold. So, thank God this arena has 2 layers, because, Jesus, Apex, that blade just went through it like a glass window. If this was, I fear to know what would have happened if he had entered it into one of the smaller events here in America. Like,
what I will say is,
the Robo Games arenas had a few breaches, but none that to this effect.
What I will say is, I mean, people might be saying, "Oh, the arena's unsafe because of this happened." The bullet, it did its job. It stopped the blade.
That's true.
It really took a lot of momentum out of the blade when it hit it. It shattered it, but it did its job. So, and actually, funny thing is, that's the piece of Perspex that was broken last year by Aftershock. It's the newest.
Hopefully, Craig got that piece as a souvenir.
It's the newest piece of polycarb, and it's the one that's it's the first to get broken.
You know what I think? You know what I think it is. Basically, you have. I think it's because Carbide and Apex's blades spin the same direction, and when you're driving, the drive pods are over there. You've got the glass pane over there, so I'm sure the same amount of momentum was enough to send the blade flying straight towards that same panel. There's a pattern going on here.
But that was because again I was there for that was the holy shit moment.
That's definitely going in the holy shit moment at the end.
I mean, after the fight, like the buzzer went off because basically what immediately happened was the buzzer went off. Killot just picked up Apex and put it in the pit because I think they just wanted to get it out of the way so it couldn't do any more harm.
Yeah, it was like, and Craig, I think Craig was upset because we're still moving, and it's like, you idiots, you tried to kill everybody, you must pay now.
Yeah, like you go in the naughty spot.
It's such a shame.
I know.
But what else could Apex have done, really?
Yeah, I mean,
they could have just used the regular blade because.
Well,
that was the regular blade.
I mean the Jeff Hardy blade. They could have used that. They could have gotten some nice hits in on Traction's tracks, and probably could have had more effect. The big problem with that blade is that it's just too big. I don't know.
But like, there was literally, when the buzzer went off, there was literally like just like 10-20 seconds of just silence because no one knew really how to react to it. Like the crowd weren't applauding. They were just like, everyone was just dead silent, and even like the arena host guy he took him about a minute before he could say anything. Because it was like you had producers, like you had the arena crew just running around like all panicking, like holy shit, what's happened? The interview I think was like put off for about a good 5 minutes, like just because they had no idea what to do, because they had no idea this could happen.
Oh, this is.
And it was amazing.
I will say, if Craig had any detractors from Series 8, I'm sure he's gained so many fans from this experience.
I mean, I don't know what's going to happen to Apex now. I don't know if it's a write-off or anything like that. But
Well, Craig says he's working on a new machine right now. He has, it looks like General Chomps a lot. It's got a crusher on the front, so he's going to try and work on this thing. But no, and he's also bringing Foxic to Robo Games, so hopefully he'll have better luck for that.
I wanted to bring back Foxic for Series 11 because I like Foxic more than Apex because Foxic is it's a generally really good looking machine in it.
It has character to it. Apex just looks like it might murder somebody.
And unlike unlike the Series 8, unlike the Series 8 Foxic, it actually works as well.
Absolutely, but yeah, I think we got to say it again. You know what we have to say, Alex.
What?
We got to give the good luck Craig chant. Adam, you want to join us in saying good luck, Craig?
Come on, Craig!
All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Good luck, Craig.
Don't get banned.
Don't do the Jordan Butter.
Don't get banned.
Don't get banned.
Seriously,
Yeah,
I honestly do think that Apex probably could get banned for this.
I was actually I was talking to Craig. I was like, I wanted to ask him if he could bring one of his bots here so I could drive it in the heavyweight division. That's not happening now because of how crazy registrations got. But
yeah, I mean,
it's not a letter. Shipping.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll send you £300 to ship it.
I mean, what could? I mean, I don't know. There might be a lot of fallout to this. I mean, they could put like a weight limit on spinners, or like how much weight you could put in a spinner, or I don't know, because there could be a lot of fallout from this.
It reminds me of, I remember when they invited Mauler over for the first World Championship, and then they found out it was too dangerous, and it's like, holy crap, you people obviously didn't see Mauler on BattleBots, so you went ahead and invited them over anyway, and then you decided they're not safe for your rinky-dink arena.
During the tech check procedure, they look at the robot and think, right, is anything going to fall off here? Yeah, that might come off.
And let's be honest, the Series 3 Robot Wars arena wasn't the safest.
No.
I will say one thing. At least the audience was well protected since they were like 3 stories up.
Not the camera crew, though. They were basically in the tiny little box.
It isn't good when the shrapnel flies upwards.
Yeah, I think Ming will have something to say about that. So yeah, that pretty much covers this match. Apex versus Traction. We talked about this a good 10 minutes. The match itself was only about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll move on to Adam, your bot, Vulture versus Bucky. You know what this reminds me of?
I need to piss.
Okay, you can go, Adam.
Glorious. No, I won't give in till I'm victorious. And I will defend.
No, Vulture versus Bucky. I skipped ahead a little bit. You know what this match reminded me of? It was like watching a Kids from MIT match, like Overhaul versus Sawblaze. Just two big, tall, wacky things just bumping into each other, grabbing onto each other, sawing into each other. It was actually, I actually had fun with it.
Actually, I was gonna say there's one moment I really Bucky really got a good bite in on Vulture at one point.
Yeah, I like that. Was it able to get through the armor? Adam?
Hello?
Yeah. Was Bucky's teat able to get through your armor?
Why no? You may have noticed on the front of Vulture that we've got a little mouth thing that's reminiscent of the featherweights.
Yeah.
When we got flipped over from the floor flipper, we're sort of self-righted right into their gob, and it swallowed us, which wasn't very good.
Yeah. And really, the floor flipper, obviously that the thing was breaking a lot in the last few seasons. It was going nuts in this episode. It flipped you guys over. It flipped, and then it flipped Bucky over, and then that's pretty much it for Bucky.
Well, I don't know if you noticed that they actually removed, because they actually put like side protectors on the flip of this year. They were pretty much gone by the time this fight happened.
Well, Aftershock decided, yeah, fuck these things, they're useless.
Well, they broke one. The back one broke in the first fight with Behemoth and Sabretooth. The side one broke in the Aftershock fight, and I can't remember what happened to the other one. But yeah, so basically just at the end, it's like, yeah, they're gone now. So
just stick some bungee cords under that thing, and you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the original. But so yeah, Adam, going into this match, what are your thoughts overall?
Sorry?
Sorry,
Second game.
What are your thoughts on this match?
Well, it was actually a good match because it was just like we both had sort of not great weapons or something like that. We're both inexperienced in the heavyweight categories. So, yeah, it was just trying to outdrive each other and trying to make our gimmicky weapons somewhat useful. Sort of worked. Not for us, but... yeah.
But you got the win.
You got a win.
Yeah.
You got one. You know, you can say you did better than Terror Turtle or Velociraptor, who have never won.
They scored a goal though.
Sorry.
It's fine though.
I'm back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. This episode, it needs Nate. Nate really loves to ham everything up.
Is this Nate Frank, a chance?
No, Nate Milbank. He's
the co-host.
He's the co-host. He's my comic relief. He usually records all the audio and everything. So
okay.
But he works on Sundays now. So yeah. But
yeah.
That's what happens. Good. But yeah. Vulture gets
bad at selecting guests on this show, then it would be perfect.
Yeah.
But you've got that tit from Team Vulture.
Oh, no. This whole episode, you've basically just been selling yourself short. No, we did shit. No, I'm shit. Everything's shit. Shit.
Don't be so down on yourself, man.
I've got a reason
you built
to.
good robots. You built something that's unique.
Hey, you can say but your robot. You got. It was you that basically helped Traction beat a huge fuck off bar spinner.
Yeah.
Ish. I think Apex beat itself, really.
No, it was the sheer will of Traction that caused Apex to break in half. But yeah, Vulture gets the victory and goes back into the semifinal rounds. So, Rapid versus Traction. Is this the shortest match of all time?
It's got to beat Gravity's 6 seconds, and I think it might have.
I think Eruption versus Cherub, I believe, broke the record.
That was
something that happened at the filming.
Okay.
Basically, it was just before we were going to the arena, and what we heard was 3, 2, 1, activate, cease. It felt a lot quicker than 6 seconds. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I was going to say
3, 4 maybe.
Because Eruption was 7 seconds, so it's the second quickest. I gotta say this probably might be a record.
All right, I got to check the wiki.
The wiki is probably updated, but
we got to see how long.
Well, there's a clock. There's a clock at the side, and it goes to 5 when Traction is flipped out.
Shortest battles in UK Robot Wars. Let's go. Yes! Rapid versus Traction has beaten it by 5.6 seconds over Gravity and Dantom Kia, which was 5.8. So yes, this is in fact the shortest Robot Wars match of all time.
Hooray! But not the fastest immobilization. That's still Dominator on Henry 2.
That's still Dominator and Henry 2. So yeah, Rapid's a beast.
Rapid now holds the record. How long that was that record was what? That record was 15 years old.
Yeah, Gravity versus Dantom Kia. That was 2003. So it's 14 years for this record to be broken.
Yeah.
And if you want to go by the modern series, Eruption versus Cherub was 6.5. So this is also the quickest match of the modern series. So
What if you go by all the events in general, behind the scenes?
Eruption has that record. Don't they have the record? It was on Chronic, and that was 4 seconds.
I think Chronic got I know out in 4 seconds as well.
This is the quickest televised match.
Oh yeah.
That's where it matters.
Yeah.
Also, I'm checking now, but Eruption has 7 OOTAs. Dan Tomkia has 9. You think Michael's going to break that record, Alex?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he is. Especially since he's in the 10-way, he's probably going to flip out like at least 3 or 4 competitors. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
He's the best driver in the sport, at least in the UK.
Yeah, he is. Although again, he like the Rapid team, he takes things seriously.
But he puts on a show at least when he fights.
Yeah.
But that's what I'll say. It's like him and Alex Brown from TR2 are the 2 best drivers in the UK at the moment.
I can't argue with that.
I want to see. It's obviously happened in a live event, but I would like to see them in like a TV fight.
Have you ever seen the match between me and Mike?
No.
That was intense. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, I'd recommend watching it. It's all over the arena. It was in featherweights though, so might not be that interesting.
No, it is. I love the featherweights because featherweights can really go flying.
Oh yeah.
Was it Explosion you were fighting against?
Yeah, it was Amnesia versus Explosion, and Jesus, when you're in the arena with a really powerful flipper that can flip you out from anywhere. What you need to do is just dodge and run and keep on it. If you let them get at you for a single second, you're out of the arena.
An Explosion
you can't put them in the pit either, because they can flip straight back out.
An Explosion is dead fast as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I've seen this little thing, and it can flip high, it can do all kinds of somersaults, all kinds of wackiness. This thing is a little beast.
I think it's faster than quite a lot of heavyweights as well. It's like it can nip around the arena like nothing.
Yep, so I think we got off track there, but we'll now move on to the the other semifinal match, which is Terahertz versus Vulture. I have one word to say about this match. Ouch.
Yeah.
Just ouch. Adam, and what they said, John Reed, you're a big fan of his, eh?
Yeah.
How did those pillows work out?
Well, they actually worked better than Rapids.
Yeah.
They held up, did the job, and they disappeared.
Yeah. I mean, Velcro is the new secret weapon of robot armor. Don't bother with bolts. Use Velcro.
Well, it says industrial, so it must be good.
Yeah.
Industrial Velcro.
So this match is going on. Like, what's going through your guys' head right now? Like, oh my God, we're fighting Terahertz. What are we gonna do?
It was a really weird situation because you see Terahertz in the arena, you think, oh my God, I love this machine, it's awesome. And then you remember that you're in the arena with it, and then you go, oh no.
Yeah, I will say, the good news is you managed to go the distance, and towards the end, it looked like, I don't know if Nick was conserving CO2, but the axe just wasn't working.
It ran out at the end. He fired it too much, basically.
And then what did we get? What did we get twice? We got the Fog of War, the single worst hazard of all time. I do not like this. Like, it's like, I don't know. I believe each competitor is allowed one use of the button, I think, or twice.
Gabriel got 2 hits.
Gabriel got 2 hits. I'm sorry, but like me and Alex said, this hazard it's a waste of time because all the competitors have to just stop the matches so they can wait for it to go so they can finally see where they're going.
Is it random?
And it doesn't make good TV.
To win that match, all we really could do with was the pit.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
even house actually, but mainly the pit. Because that's the one thing I'm good at, getting stuff down the pit. But did we
They
get the
screwed
pit?
you guys out of it. But like, I don't know, Rogue House Robot would have been interesting.
Yeah, like,
No,
see, like
it's just
I don't know if
less-
is it randomly generated or what? I don't. Is it randomly picked or like who thought like, oh, fog of war, that's good. Let's do that again. We gotta get our money's worth out of this. I mean, like use the Rogue House Robot. Like I would say if an Eraser Hazard has been used and someone don't use it again. Apart from the
Yeah.
Rogue House Robot, I don't know. Make the Rogue.
It could be worse. It could be that you could press the button again and it raises the pit back up, like in that Behemoth Eruption Cobra match from last year.
Yeah, I don't mind about I don't mind the pit going back up, but I would say maybe make the Rogue House Robot go to 20 seconds instead of 10, because the House Robot will use most of that time just getting to the other opponent.
Yeah, well, I will say this though, it was really good to see Terahertz just go all out.
Beating
Just,
Terahertz finally. Like this reminded me of like the Terahertz Smidsy match from Extreme 2, where Terahertz did not let Smidsy get away and just bashed the shit out of it, and it was unfortunately your robot that was the next Smidsy, where he didn't let you go and he just battered the ever loving hell out of you.
you there, Adam?
Yeah. Sorry, I've just noticed I've been thinking by the Boosie 2. Well, not by the Boosie 2, but to do with the loaning of the wedge.
Yeah.
The Boosie 2 posted a GIF of Dan from the traction team.
Yay.
Yay!
Yeah, about their sportsmanship. I mean, they are a really good team, and like, I'm really happy for them that they got through the 10-way melee.
Yeah. We can't really talk about that fight because there wasn't one.
Yeah, the fight didn't happen. What happened? You couldn't get the weapon working, or?
Well, it sort of shows on the show, but it didn't really explain it. Basically, where the weapon was designed to be, the head of the bird, as you might call it, it was sort of going over the wires for the drive motors, and it cut the can't even speak. It cut the wires on the motor so close to the can that there was nothing to solder to.
Jeez.
And to replace the motor, you have to take off the entire head of the Vulture, which isn't good. It takes ages. So we thought, right, we'll try and repair it wherever it is. Got the back off, opened the motor. Tom had a good crack at it. I mean, Jesus, if Tom wasn't on our team, we wouldn't have got as far as we did. He did all the work. But yeah, we just couldn't get it sorted in time. We're rushing to get the motor back together once it was soldered, and then the motor just sort of gave way and snapped. Yeah, that was it. That was the end of the design flaw like that.
Couldn't you have been able to just drive in and use the wedge, or was it? Oh, you don't have an active weapon, so you have to forfeit.
It was the drive motor that died.
Oh, dang.
So it wouldn't have been able to go forward. It would be 3, 2, 1, activate. Oh, they're getting counted out because they're not moving properly.
That sucks, man.
Because it is a rule, isn't it? You got to be able to at least drive to your starting spot, haven't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not good.
Well, it was a good first experience, though.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
hopefully compete again.
Yeah, hopefully not. But it didn't come off that way from how how the TV cut was. It was mostly you were all really you were having a horrible time, and it was really stressful.
Doing
But-
robots is stressful, but
Yeah.
if it's something you love, then you got to take pride in your
Oh
work.
god, yeah.
Just not Vulture, because there's nothing to be proud of.
It's a beautiful mate. It's a really beautiful looking robot,
Yeah.
Until you spot the welding.
and it's the first of its kind as well.
At least in Robot Wars.
Well, I mean, there's been overhead like
Saw
saws before, but I think this is the first. Is this the first like actual flywheel spinner overhead?
I actually, there was one years and years and years ago that competed at Battle Beach in Florida. Not Pangolin, I forget what it was called, but it was like, it had a big fuck-off spinning disc that went 100 degrees back and over, but I don't remember if it did well at all. But you know what? It's always good to see new and unique designs like Vulture and Bucky and Robot Wars, and hey, you got to be on TV, you got to compete, you got to be proud of yourself.
Indeed.
Yes. It was a brilliant experience, and the crew were really friendly.
And
But-
next year, just enter with a boring wedge.
Wedge.
It already is a wedge. Just we discussed
Wedge.
very well.
So, at long last, we make it to the Heat final, which is Terahertz versus Rapid, and this was a hell of a fight.
I've noticed that every episode now, the ones that have won the opening melee have got to the Heat final. So maybe that might be a flaw with the new format. I don't know.
I don't think so. It really depends on the quality of the builds, I think. Although Behemoth, you could argue, got a little bit lucky when it got its win over Sabretooth and Donald Thump, but I don't know. Plus, I think a lot of the losers have that extra match they have to go to, and maybe it takes a little bit out of the competitors. But I don't know. But
yeah,
this match, I actually had Terahertz. My prediction was Terahertz was going to win, but I did have a feeling that Rabid was going to be able to just get underneath Terahertz and flip it around, and basically that's what it did.
Well,
but
if you notice, Terahertz had the problem. The wheelie bar was supposed to fix this, but it didn't. Didn't prop fully. When it drove forward, the front wedge lifted off the ground.
yeah, and Terahertz, it did well to stay in there for the most part. Like, it almost went flying out, but it stayed in. It ended up in the CPZ. It got a few hits in on Rapid. The little pillow or whatever got knocked off. It was hanging in there, but then Rapid just got underneath it, just sent it straight across the arena and over and out. So the good news is Terahertz makes it through to the 10-way, so it's not out of it yet, and Rapid makes it through to the grand final, and so far I think it's the dark horse to win, but I don't know. Behemoth, Carbide, Rapid, anything can happen.
If it's those three drawn together, I don't know. I think Rapid and BMF would have to team up on Carbide to take it out.
That sounds like that's what's going to happen. So, but yeah, you know what? This episode wasn't as good as the first two, but I will say it certainly had moments. I loved a lot of the new designs, even if they didn't all work. And it had a good Heat final, and Rapid, as bland as it may look, it is a powerful machine, and it is good to see it go through to the grand final and not pull a Mortis, as Nate would say.
Well,
But,
it is pulling a Mortis, because Mortis did really well in its second series.
Well, yeah, but it didn't. It wasn't through to the grand final. It was only the semi-final.
Because there aren't any semifinals.
Well, there are. You got semifinals in the heats. I don't know. But there were a few matches that I think fell kind of flat. But I did, and obviously the some of them didn't even last a minute. But overall, if I were to give it a score from 1 to 10, I'll give it a 6.
I would agree with you. I'd probably give it a 6.5 or 7. It's definitely got some good moments. You've got the shortest fight in Robo Wars history. You've got the apex explosion, and yeah, you know what I mean. Like, it's Series 10 is really shaping up to be the best series of Robo Wars ever. Like, I would already say
it really is. I gotta be honest.
I mean, it's already better. It's the best reboot series.
Absolutely.
Already.
Like, I've seen a lot of shitty reboots, but this is probably the best rebooted show since Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah. Or Doctor Who.
Since what Doctor Who, it's gonna keep going forever.
Well, until they cancel it again.
Well, it's got such a massive fandom, so
Yeah, well.
they won't let it drop.
So, Adam, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give this episode?
It obviously isn't as good as the other episodes because you had some corkers of fights, but it's really hard to judge an episode that you're actually in because you're just going to look back at your own fights or anything that you're in, seeing your face on TV and going, "Oh, get that off the screen."
Yeah.
everyone was awesome. Everyone was so nice. Everyone was stressed, as you can understand. But to experience it and know what went on, you think, wow, that's just Jesus. And then you see it on TV. A lot of the drama's cut out. And you don't see as much of everyone's heart being poured into it. But it is entertaining seeing the matches. And I'm just babbling on. I honestly can't rate it.
It's unrateable.
Pretty much. It's an unrateable episode for me.
Okay.
I wouldn't rate it very high because I've seen my face in it. Something I want to forget. I got its head kicked in. But there are some brilliant fights, and it's not really about the robots in this episode. It's more of the personalities that you see.
This is a team episode, I know. Yeah, looking back, it's more of a team episode. Like you got Bucky, you got Traction, you got the Vulture, you got Apex. Really, I mean, and Terahertz was. I mean, it's great to see to see John Reed having a good time. For one, I mean, there wasn't really much to say about the Rapid team, but you know. But
they're gonna keep going until they finally win this beast. But
it's like The Apprentice of Robot Wars. When someone beats them, that's when they get a job. They give them a job,
and then they'll go on to become the president.
You know what?
Make Robot Wars great again.
We were really hoping we'd fight Rapid in our third match. So yeah, we were actually quite surprised when we got mashed up with Terrorists again because that hadn't happened yet in that series. It was disappointing because Terahertz we weren't really suited for. Like we thought, oh yeah, everything's flippers and spinners and all that. We'll put a big, massive, thick wedge on. We'll have another thin wedge of some special low wedge that gets stuck in the floor. Top armor was really, really thin because I thought, nah, there's too much weapon in the way. No one will hit that. What happened? Terahertz happened.
Yeah. There's only two axes in Robot Wars. It's not like they're going to draw us against it. Oh shit!
Exactly. So yeah, Rapid could have stood a chance against, especially with the drive like being sorted. You would have noticed the difference between round 1 and 2 and 3. Vulture was a lot quicker.
Yeah, it was.
And it's known in the featherweights for being one of the lowest. And I tell you what, the heavyweight was not, exempt from this. It was really low. So we know we could have gotten underneath Rapid. Whether or not we could have stayed in the arena, that's an entirely different story.
Well, from what I've read about Rapid's the flipper actually isn't flush to the floor. It's got to have the side skirts get under them first.
Yeah, it's sort of hovering. We have a special little. Well, we had a special little wedgelet that was longer than the others, so it would have missed out Rapid's side corner wedges and went straight underneath the middle wide wedge.
Yeah.
It would perfect. We could have caused them so much hassle.
But no. They could.
It's another case of shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah. You could have beat them. I mean, they had a gas leak.
Well, you never know what's going to happen. That's the thing about robot combat in general. You never know what's going to happen. You never know when you'll either get struck by a floor spike or your robot craps out while you're fighting a SpongeBob SquarePants pinata.
Yeah.
Which happened to me.
And all I'll say is, in these next time trailers, they've always previewed the robot that's won the heat because it was Apex. It was Carbide, and then it was Rapid. So by that logic, that means Nuts is going to win the heat next week.
Woo! About time. So, yeah, next week is Heat 4. We're going to have Tim from Concussion and Alex Shaky Shakespeare from Nuts 2. They're going to have on as guests, and we're going to talk to them about their experience.
The melty brains and everything.
Yes. Robots are Androne 4000, the ever-powerful Iron Awe 6, the ever-wacky Nuts 2, the ever-bull-by-the-horns Toron, the ever-intoxicated Kegs, and the number 5 seed Concussion. Should be a fun episode. Alex, do you have a prediction on who might win Heat 4? And no spoilers, please. Just give a prediction.
Prediction is it's going to be between Iron Awe 6 and Concussion. But like I said, you've seen Nuts in the preview. Don't write it off.
Well, you saw Apex in the preview for the last episode, so
Yeah.
I actually turned the stream off because I didn't want to see the previews for the next episode. I am dedicated. No
Vulture.
spoilers for me, please. Except that
it's
one
worth
time.
watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good having you on, Adam. I know things didn't really play up for you, but it was always cool, and Vulture is a pretty interesting design. I want to see you advance it a bit more, so you can have a really nasty spinner that just slices a bot in half.
Well, if they go to according to plan, where originally there were going to be lightweights in Series 10, if there's a series, when there's a Series 11, if they bring lightweights into that, then you can have 2 shots.
I so want them to have beetle weights. That I would if they say, oh, we're gonna have beetle weights. I don't care how much it's gonna cost me. I'm gonna ship Mondo over there, and I'm gonna
Well, the
have
BBC, the
fun with you
BBC,
guys.
I'm afraid there's one problem with that, mate. The
What's that?
macro's not good enough.
yeah,
What?
The macro is not good enough on the cameras.
yeah.
Damn it!
And actually, from what I've found out, the BBC do pay for travel.
Woo!
They do indeed.
Yeah.
But as soon as you lose, get the fuck out of your hotel.
Yeah, the BBC were awesome. Mental were awesome. And honestly, if you want to give it a shot, if you want to apply,
Do it.
just do it. You will get all the support you'll ever hope for from the crew. They're brilliant.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What you gotta lose? I mean, the worst they're gonna say is no.
What's that? Your robot has a flipper? No. I mean, yeah, it was this was a fun episode. It was good having you back, Alex, and it was good having
I'm
Adam.
always here. I'll never leave.
And yeah, originally we were just gonna have him for like Heat B or something, and so far he's been in every episode so far.
I've been your emergency guy.
Yes. But yeah, it was good. It was good talking to you, Adam. It was
No problem.
it was a fun
Nice.
time. Fun talking about bots. And
I would like to guess, yeah.
and hopefully this I don't have to do a lot of editing. I've got my camera here, and Alex has OBS going, so hopefully it won't be a catastrophe like it was last time.
Here's hoping.
Yes. But until next week, I am the Hardcore Kid.
I am Alexthehunted, and I don't think Adam has a pseudonym.
I'm the random guy.
He is the Vulture guy. Peace out and cease.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Goodbye.
Fuck the revival.